Yep,
Yeah,
we're
and I just
we're
like
ready to
make-
go.
Kevin, you got the gavel.
Just-
Oh, that's all you, man.
And I'm like, oh God, it's so hot in here.
All right, everybody, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to call the meeting to order. Welcome to our April 2023 Tree and Storm Water Board Advisory Board meeting. Looks like we got everybody in today. Thank you all for making the time to come in today. Get to go over the agenda. First item would be approving the minutes for our February 1st meeting. Can get a motion for the approval of the minutes.
Motion for that?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. The motion carries, so minutes are approved. Next item are public comments. Guy, did we get any comments? I just want to make sure there's nobody in audience today. So, Guy, if you've had
Not really, just other than people inquiring about the Muddy Creek cleanup that was last Saturday. So.
Okay. Thank you. And next item on our agenda are tree reports.
Yep, and I know this is redundant. I mean, it seems like that's what we talk about, but it's what is happening. So, we did get Tree City USA for 2022. So it's past last year. We have been Tree City USA 27 years now, and we'll keep that tradition going. So, Mid-America Trees Please grant, that's for the 2023 season. We did receive $1,000 for that grant, so that will go towards planting some additional trees. We haven't really, well, where did we decide to put those this year? Because they are kind of spelled out. We have a number of areas that we're going to go, but for the grant, we had to kind of basically say where they're going.
Okay.
You probably don't know. I did the paperwork.
Yeah,
So.
like,
Yeah. I was going to also bring up tree pruning topic, and I was going to let Brian maybe speak a little bit on that because, you know, this time of year when people start thinking about their trees, and is it or is it not a good time to prune a tree?
Sure.
So I'm going to let Brian maybe speak a little bit on that topic.
yeah, like Guy said, when and when not to prune. Typically, you want to do it in the winter months because the tree's dormant. It's pulling all the resources and it's storing everything in the roots. So, but you can get away with it like early spring, but I wouldn't go too much into the summer. Reasons being, certain species don't like being trimmed in the summer, like oaks. They get a oak decline. They just don't respond very well to pruning. And when you do prune trees, it's always a good idea. You're going to take off a branch or a limb or whatever to cut it back as far as you can to the nearest branch or the trunk. Reason you do that is it allows the tree time to grow around and heal that wound. Because every time you are making a cut, you are wounding the tree. So just want to give it a good chance of healing. And another general rule is don't trim any more than 1/3 of the canopy at a time. You can prune every single year if you wanted to, but that general rule is 1/3 of the canopy. Yeah.
Thank you. And for those pruning, there are trees right now. What do they do with the branches if they're kind of large pieces? Do we have like a branch recycling or branch pickup or?
Right now, it's through the Johnson County Refuse. They just place them out by the road.
Got it.
However, towards the end of the month, we will be taking that brush during our citywide cleanup day,
Got it.
which is the last Saturday in April.
Okay.
You can bring it down then. So otherwise, you put it out by the road, and the recycling people will pick it up.
Got it.
I just wanted to bring up Arbor Day proclamation. It will be read at the next council meeting in April. We do this for Tree City USA. That is a requirement for Tree City USA. You must have an Arbor Day proclamation. So this is part of that. And like, I just wanted to let you see what it's going to look like. It will be read at the next council meeting. So, other than that, do you have any questions regarding trees?
Pruning questions?
Maples? Can we cut our maples? Like the,
Yeah, early spring would be fine.
Okay.
when you do cut maples, they might weep a little. You get a lot of that liquid coming out. It's fine. It'll usually heal off. But ideally, winter, late fall is kind of your best window of opportunity for just kind of a general across the board for pruning. So.
How does this immediate jump into summer impact anything?
Good question. I would say it shortened your window
Uh-huh.
by quite a bit. You're kind of on that fine line where you'll have to check each tree individually. What it's called is bud break. So when that bud first busts open, don't prune. You want it to extend out, put its leaves out, and then after that, you can do some light trimming. Storm damage, and obviously cut that right away because you just have a massive wound. So that's about the only time you really want to trim during the summer. So.
Cool. Thank you. Next item, if there's no other questions or comments, we'll move on to item number 5, which is a report of our Muddy Creek and Trail cleanup that was held last weekend. Just want to take a moment to say thank you to those who came out and helped out. We had a pretty good turnout, and we were almost done within an hour or two of starting the event. Thank you to the city staff for coming out and helping out with picking up all the bags that citizens cleaned up. I just want to take a second to give a big shout out to the Boy Scout Troop 216 and the Cub Scout Pack 216 and 275. They've been a yearly participant to this event for quite some time. We had a Greencastle Clover Kids, especially with their leader, Mandy Dyer, come out and help us as well. So thank you for that. We had the presence of Council Member Wason. I want to take a moment to thank him for that. A few residents also came out, as well as members of the board here and the park department. So overall, I would say it was a pretty beautiful weather. Great family opportunity to come out and help our city look good and stay good. So thank you to everybody. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone also. I know it was the Easter holiday weekend, but we had a very good turnout regardless of that. It's a kind of a timing thing. We want to get out there before the overgrowth starts to, cover everything up. It's easy to see the trash now when you don't have all that new weeds and grass and everything that's growing. Overgrowth. So it's kind of a timing thing. So anyway, it turned out well. Got a lot of stuff out. I know I think the Boy Scouts went up to about noon. They made it all the way down the Forever Green Road along the railroad tracks. So much appreciation to them for that. So yeah.
Do we have a date for next year's yet, or not yet?
It'll be the second Saturday or second Saturday in April.
Okay, all right.
That's what it always goes for.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Thank you. With that, if there's no comments from the board, we'll move on to the next item, which is our stormwater report. Mike.
Hello, everyone. I'll start off with the SAM company is still in town, GIS mapping all of our structures. They should be wrapped up, if not this week, next week. I'm sure they're getting real close, so they won't be wandering around town anymore, except for when we call them back for more work. I'm going to be at a few events here in the next month. We'll have a booth set up, handing out information and talking with residents. The Home and Garden Show is not this weekend, next weekend. And that's at the Johnson County Fairgrounds this year. I'll be there all 3 days with information and goodies to give away, and we'll be able to sign up for next year's cost share program then, or at least get you started on that with the application. The following weekend, I'll be talking a little bit about the cost share program at the Native Plant Symposium. That's put on by Iowa City Parks and Rec. I have no idea where that is yet. So if you're interested, you could contact me, and I'll try to get that information before I show up there. I'll also be at Remarkable Rigs this year at Centennial Park. I'll have some some more goodies in there to talk to people, mostly about the cost share program again. I think I'll be running the sewer camera to kind of show the kids and everyone how we televise lines, how we can go through the storm sewers and find blockages and what all that entails. And I think I don't know if they're going to bring our big vac truck also, which is kind of part of that whole progress. That'll be fun. Hopefully it's a good day at Centennial Park. The cost share program, I'll touch on that. I've been getting a lot of calls lately for people wanting to apply for that this spring yet. We are out of funding this year, so that's going to have to wait for fall projects, especially for the soil quality restoration. If you want to do any rain gardens or rain barrels, anything like that, the funding will be replenished July 1 of this year. It goes by the fiscal year.
Got it.
So after July 1, I'll take some more applications for stuff like that. We ran out of money earlier this year than ever before, so people are using it, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
Everything helps.
Do you know what the funding would be for next year? Is it going to be equivalent or greater than it had been?
Yeah, it should be the same. I get about $20,000 a year to help with projects. Hopefully one day I can raise that limit so we won't run out of money ever, but until we get there, it's going to stick where it's at.
Okay.
We had
I threw that in there.
last week, and if Guy wants to talk on this too, we did do our first ever prairie
Yeah.
burn.
First annual, yeah.
Here in North Liberty at Centennial Park. We burnt the bios whales in there. It went
It's perfect.
It
Yes.
went absolutely
That was awesome.
perfect. It really helps. I mean, it helps with the native vegetation. It helps with invasive species. The overall health of the whole area. Guy was talking about simply cutting down the manpower that he was putting into mowing it every year and cleaning everything up. What took him hours went up in like
Done in-
10 minutes.
Yeah, it was done. Yeah, for sure. 20,
Yeah.
at maximum 20 minutes, and it was done. I have some video of it if you guys want to watch it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that went well. The fire department showed up. They brought one of their trucks just to kind of be there to show the support with the city that they're on board with this.
Mhm.
I haven't heard any feedback from the public if there was any negative or not. So we're planning on making this an annual thing. Hopefully we can expand into other areas in town also
Mhm.
that really could use this rejuvenation of burning these areas. We'll have to look further into what places might qualify for that, or, location is a big thing, timing with the weather.
Mhm. Yeah, we canceled twice.
Yeah, we got real lucky with
Yeah.
when we did it. Everything was perfect with wind direction and speed and everything, so.
I was gonna ask for that. Do you have like a notification for the neighbors directly affected to let them know, hey, this is coming up, or how does the public know there might be a controlled burn coming up in their neighborhood so they can
We
close their
put,
windows?
there's signage that the fire department, so we applied for a permit through the fire department for
Yeah.
this. There's a lot of, there's a lot involved more than just lighting it on fire.
Sure.
The application process, you have to show certifications and proper PPE. We did everything that was required that's listed within their permit and application. And then what they do is they'll post a sign out there with a date range, because it is so weather dependent. We can't say, hey, on Wednesday we're going to do this, because Wednesday comes and the wind is wrong or it's
Sure.
raining. So I believe we gave them about a month span is what they like.
Okay.
And it keeps them aware, and then we contact them, of course, the day before or the day of, depending on weather. And they were happy to come out. And one of the volunteers is part of Guy's staff, too, so he was there.
Okay.
Along with his dad, the fire chief, is who was there with us.
Got
So
it.
we had the smartest and best firefighter there. If something went awry.
Yeah.
Cool.
Top of the food chain.
Yeah, hopefully, this is going to be an annual thing, and we can do more and more of it.
Okay.
It really worked out well. I'm super happy about it.
Yep, same here.
For the cost share funding, so when when residents apply for the SQR and you run out of money, do you have like a wait list that you hold for the next time funding comes, or the application just drops off and you have to reapply past after July 1st?
If they've already applied, so if they apply for spring work and for some reason it doesn't get done, whether it's weather or they just didn't get to it, I'll hold on to that funding for the next year.
Okay.
So we can push them back to the fall.
Got it.
If we start missing the fall and into the next year, I'll ask them to reapply for that.
Got it.
I can't just have a pool of money that keeps getting pushed
Sure.
too far. It's, to manage that, and by the end of it, it'd just be a mess.
Okay. I was mostly thinking if somebody applies for it, doesn't get it, their application is already on file, and next time when the money comes available, you kind of go through that list and say, okay, you apply for it, but you missed the funding, so I'll just move your application over.
No, I keep an eye on that dollar amount
Got it.
pretty closely. So once that's out and I have applications that have been approved, I'll just cut off applications.
Got it. Okay.
So then it'll come. So if you send in your application, normally I talk with the resident too. They'll call with questions.
Sure.
Or what I'll do is I'll contact all the contractors and let them know, hey, I can only do like 3 more. I'm about out of money, and then 2 more, and then I'll say I'm out of money. Don't. When people approach you, say they're not doing it anymore
Okay.
until next year.
All right. Thank you.
So I haven't run into any of that.
All right. Any questions and comments for the stormwater department?
Is there a place on the on the North Liberty website that says what things you can do for the cost share program?
Yeah, there's a list in there there's a link for the cost share, and then there's like a page write up on certain items. Not everything is listed because there could be so many things. Basically, if you have an idea and what you're going to do is to hold the water on your property longer through infiltration or something like that, and it's not listed, just feel free to call me and ask me, and we can see if it's something we can get in there or not.
Mike, what's your most popular request for a project?
The SQR for sure. That takes up 99% of all the funding. And they'll mix in a few rain barrels here and there. I think I've only done 2 rain gardens since I started here.
What is
So,
SQR?
Soil quality restoration.
Like
That's
adding
the-
compost to your yard
Yeah.
or
They'll aerate
kind
it,
it?
and apply compost on top of that.
Okay.
So like, I guess, somewhat older, like 10 years developments, you don't have the topsoil depth that's needed. Like my house is one example. I have this much blacktop, and the rest is clay. So when it was being built, they scraped it off. But I think there's language in city code now that you can't move that topsoil out. If you build it, you got to bring it back in. So newer houses or newer development would have better soil quality than developments that are about 10 years or so old. So it helps those residents reclaim that quality soil by doing aeration and composting and doing a few things to do it. I've used that program once, and it helped for that first 2 years or so. And I think we've talked about this during previous meetings where you don't have to use it one, you can apply for every year, right? And just keep it going.
I've done it twice. It was definitely helpful. When I planted my first tree, I had maybe a 1/4 inch
Yeah.
of black dirt on top of 3 different colors of clay.
Yeah.
And it's definitely now where, a tine length of aeration is a good mix of clay and black dirt at that point. So definitely beneficial.
All right. Any other questions, comments for Mike? No? All right, next item, old business. Anybody has anything they want to talk about in old business? No? New business? No? All right. Next meeting is scheduled for July 12th, 2023. For those of you who are not here earlier, I think what we're going to try to do is, if we don't have quorum, we're just going to host like an informational. We'll just keep the meeting on, even if it's 1 or 2 people. We can't vote on items. We just talk about stuff, and then when we get quorum back again, we can vote on previous item and just kind of move it through instead of trying to find different dates. So hopefully that makes it a little more flexible for everybody.
During vacation time.
Yeah, and
Yeah, what is, everybody kind of have an idea about the July 12th thing, or?
I think I'll actually, as far as I know, we'll actually be in town this year. Normally, that's our
Yeah.
time frame, but I think it's a good idea to just
Yeah.
keep it as informational if you can.
Sure.
Make a quorum for sure. It'd be difficult to keep switching.
That, it makes it a lot easier to me than, like, are we gonna have a meeting or are we not gonna have a meeting?
Right.
So
Yeah.
we'll just have a meeting regardless. It might be a formal and it may not be a formal,
Yep.
so.
okay. So July 12th, 2023 at 7 p.m. And next item is adjournment. Get a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
All right, second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. We're good to go.